I have visited over 30 European countries, and so in this video I'm going to share with you my top 5 favorite European countries I have visited so far. Now, before I reveal my list, do let me know your list in the comments below. Comment below your top 5 favorite European countries and list your reasons why. It will be very interesting to see your opinions below. But now, going ahead with my list, and in no particular order, country 1, Italy. And to be fair, I think Italy is the best country in Europe that I have been to so far. I mean, Italy has pretty much everything that you would want in a tourist destination. Incredible architecture, incredible history, lots of things to do, incredible food. It's a very diverse country. The north is different to the south. The north is more Central European, the south is more Mediterranean. Italy has so many great cities. You can visit Rome, Florence, Venice, Milan, Naples, Bologna, Verona. You've got a great coastline, the Amalfi Coast, Cinque Terre. I think the only major disadvantage as a tourist that I can think of for Italy would be the fact that it is an expensive country. It's definitely not a budget destination, and also because Italy is such a touristy country, of course some of the tourist attractions are very overcrowded and you do find some scammers sometimes. But sometimes in life you pay more for things that are worth more, and I do think Italy is worth more. It is one of the most incredible countries in the world, I believe. So now moving on to the second country in my list, and this country has to be Spain. There is a reason why so many people go to Spain for vacations, because it's just an incredible place to visit. Just like Italy, Spain will offer incredible culture, history, architecture. Again, you've got an array of great cities: Barcelona, Madrid, Malaga, Seville, Valencia. Make sure you do not skip out on Granada. Granada is one of my favorite cities. Again, like Italy, the north is very different to the south. The south is more Mediterranean and stereotypical Spain, whereas the north has that Celtic culture. You're going to eat great food. The tapas culture is fantastic, especially in Granada, where you can get free tapas. Spain offers incredible beaches and islands for vacation. It's got a great nightlife culture too, one of the best nightlife scenes in Europe. And though I think Spain is not as grand and as striking as what Italy is, it is overall a cheaper country. I think one of the big disadvantages with Spain is the fact that many Spanish people are not the friendliest people in the world, especially in the very touristy places like Barcelona, the south, the islands. People are not the friendliest, and people don't really like tourists because of the overcrowding and the effect that tourists have on the prices. And some people from some countries, UK, don't behave themselves when they go to Spain, and so local people just don't like certain people from certain countries, so you don't feel too welcome as a tourist compared with other countries. But unfortunately, when your country is so incredible and when your country has so much to offer, of course lots and lots of tourists are going to want to go. So what can you do? I'm sorry if you are Spaniard and you hate tourists and you don't want tourists coming to your country ever again, but people are going to come. It's definitely in my top 5 favorite European countries. Now then, country number 3 in my list is going to be Greece, and I promise you this is the last Mediterranean country in the list, but I just have to include Greece in my top 5 because the culture, the history, the vibe is just immaculate. Athens is just a fantastic travel destination. A lot of people seem to skip out on Athens and just go to the islands, but honestly, go to Athens. It's an incredible city. Go to the Acropolis, you'll have a great time. I also really like Thessaloniki, the second city. You get a much more real Greek experience there because there are just nowhere near as many tourists as Athens. There are some other really nice places on the mainland that I would like to visit in the future too. I think mainland Greece is very underrated. Not many people choose to go to mainland Greece because, of course, people choose to go to the islands, and for good reason. The islands are beautiful, they are spectacular, the beaches are incredible. Rhodes, Crete, Santorini, Paros, Corfu, the list goes on and on. There are just so many islands you can go and check out. If you like the island vibe and if you like exploring beautiful islands, I think Greece is the best place for that in Europe. And of course, for me, one of my favorite things about Greece is the incredible food: the kebab, the yogurt, the gyros, the Greek salad, the feta and spinach pies. Now, for me personally, I do like visiting big, cosmopolitan, exciting cities, and apart from Athens, Greece doesn't have that at all, so that's one of my disadvantages with Greece, but that's just a personal thing. Apart from that, Greece is just a fantastic vacation destination. It really is incredible. So now we're going to move to country number 4 in this list, and maybe this one will be unexpected to you watching this, but I'm going to go with Poland. Now, the reason why Poland has to be in my top 5 is because I think Poland has all of the advantages of Germany, but the prices are cheaper, the people are friendlier, and it's safer. You're going to find throughout the country these beautiful old town squares, lovely villages, towns, cities with incredible architecture. And what you need to remember is that many of the cities in Poland were destroyed during the Second World War, but they've rebuilt the old towns exactly as they were before, which is pretty incredible when you come to think about it. Now, Poland is not just old town squares, which most of it is, but it's not just that. You do have beaches in the north. Are they the best beaches in the world? No, but there's still beaches. And you've got mountains in the south. You could go to Zakopane and do skiing. Of course, you will find a lot of World War II history and museums, and of course Auschwitz. You will definitely want to do a day trip to Auschwitz. Of course, you have Krakow and Warsaw, two very good cities. I also like Wrocław in the southwest too, and also one of my favorites in Poland is a city called Lublin, a beautiful city. Oh, and I really like the food there as well. Maybe it's not the most fancy food in the world, but traditional old school European food, dumplings, stews, soups, really good hearty food. And Poland is great for a night out too. Great beer, great vodka, great bars. Now, what I would say as a disadvantage, and I did allude to this before, but after a while, once you start visiting a few Polish cities, it does get a bit repetitive. They do look quite similar, all of these cities, so you may get a little bit bored after a while. Whereas if you do compare Poland with somewhere like Germany, cities like Berlin, Munich, Hamburg are all very different places and almost feel like different countries, whereas Poland and Polish cities, they all feel quite similar. But again, as I alluded to before, Poland has all of the advantages of Germany. Great public transport, great infrastructure. It's a very modern Western country. Honestly, it feels more developed than the UK, where I'm from. So Poland, for me, definitely has to be in my top 5. Now then, let's reveal the 5th country in my list of top 5 favourite European countries. But I am going to give you some honourable mentions before I give you my 5th country. Czech Republic is an honourable mention. I have visited Prague twice, and the first time I went, I wasn't too big of a fan of the city, but the next time I did more research, I was better prepared. I didn't go to the tourist traps, I went to the right local places, and I had a much better experience. I also went to Pilsen to go to the Pilsner Urquell brewery. Pilsen's a very nice town, definitely go and try the beer. I also went to somewhere called České Budějovice, a town in the south of the country. There are other places in the Czech Republic that I need to visit: Brno, Olomouc, Český Krumlov. So maybe once I go to these places, it would make my top 5, but it is a little bit more expensive than Poland and very similar to Poland, so it doesn't quite make my top 5. Another honourable mention, Norway, a beautiful country, beautiful coastline, fjords, mountains, towns. I highly recommend Bergen, and also I would like to go to Tromsø in the north one day to see the northern lights, but it's a very expensive country, so it doesn't quite make my top 5. But it definitely is one of the most naturally beautiful countries in Europe, and the people there are very nice too. And my last honourable mention will be Romania. Romania is a little bit more rustic and old school compared with places like the Czech Republic and Poland. I am going to give Bucharest another visit one day in the future, because the first time I went, I wasn't too big of a fan, but Brasov is definitely somewhere you need to go. It is a beautiful town. You will probably want to go to the famous Bran Castle there as well. The west of Romania is different to the east. The east is much more Eastern European, whereas the west is much more Hungarian, of course, because it was part of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. Cluj is a very nice city. It's a trendy university city. You got Cebu as well, which is famous for the Christmas markets, and also the food there is really good too. You've got to try the Michi sausages and also the Romanian donuts, the best donuts in the world. I don't usually like donuts, but these ones are fantastic. Again, I do need to go back to Romania and see if it does make my top 5, but at the minute it doesn't quite. The country that does make my top 5 though is the country of Bosnia and Herzegovina. What an incredible country, what a diverse country, what a rich history to the country. It was literally the birthplace of the First World War, and as you can see on the screen, that there is the place in Sarajevo where Franz Ferdinand was killed to kick off World War I. It's a country full of a mix of cultures: Islamic history, Jewish history, Christian history. You will find Sarajevo very fascinating, because when you walk down some streets, you will literally feel like you're in Austria, but then when you turn to other streets, it literally feels like you're in Turkey, or that you're going back in time to the Ottoman Empire. Sarajevo itself is a beautiful city, as is Mostar, where you'll find the famous old bridge. Lovely old town. You have the second biggest city, Banja Luka, in the north. I've not been there, but it looks like a beautiful place too. The country is just lovely. You've got lovely nature, lakes, greenery, mountains, and the food is so good as well. You've got the Ottoman influence, the coffee, the baklava, but you've got the traditional Balkan food as well, the cevapi, the barbecue. The prices are really good as well. If you're coming from a Western country, it is one of the cheapest countries in Europe, and the people are very friendly. They want to show you their culture. They want to give you you tips and recommendations and teach you more about the history. And you definitely should go and learn more about the genocide in the 80s and the 90s. You can book guided tours to some of the historic landmarks during that period of time, and also there are a lot of good museums you can check out as well. They are quite heavy museums because this was such a recent thing. You do see a lot of recent imagery, so you do need to be aware that Bosnia and Herzegovina is one of the most emotionally difficult countries to visit in Europe, and also even today there are still ethnic and sectarian tensions in the country. But do not get me wrong, it is so safe. You can walk both day and night throughout anywhere in the country and you'll be perfectly fine. Definitely plan a trip to the country if you have not already been. Take my word for it, it is one of the best countries in the continent. So do let me know if you agree or you disagree with my list. Do you think it's a good list? Do you think it's a bad list? Again, do comment below what your list would be. If you have enjoyed today's video, do hit the like button. It really does help out the channel and the video. Do hit the notification bell too so that you get notified for all of my latest content, and do subscribe for more travel videos. So thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next video.